Today, we're tackling one of the trickiest parts of dating, figuring out what a woman really means when her words and actions don't match up. You might hit it off with someone new, and she says all the right things to show interest, but then she ghosts or flakes on you. Or she claims she's fine with keeping things casual, but then acts possessive and demands your attention. This can make you question your sanity. But don't worry, I'm about to share the secrets of interpreting her words and her true intentions. There will be 5 key points to this, and by the end, you'll be a master at understanding the feminine language. 1. Her words aren't what you think. For guys, your words are usually pretty straightforward. You say what you mean and mean what you say. But for women, their words are often more like poetry expressing whatever emotions they're feeling at that particular moment. So let's say you finally worked up the courage to ask out this girl you've been crushing on. When you bring up going out to dinner, she hits you with, "Oh, I'd love that." You're thinking, "Hell yeah, I'm in." But then over the next few days, her energy seems to shift, and suddenly she's saying stuff like another night might work better. It's enough to make your head spin. Here's the thing, when she initially agreed to the date, she was just vibing off the excitement and romantic feelings you gave her in that moment. Her "I'd love that" wasn't a binding commitment, but simply her giving voice to those positive vibes. Then, as some time passes, her feelings likely changed or she got cold feet, so her stance appears to change. It's not that she was necessarily lying or leading you on. For women, their words are like clouds shifting in the wind, temporarily taking whatever shape matches their current emotional atmosphere. The key is not taking everything they say as deeply purposeful or locked in forever. 2. She's not a liar, she's just vibing. Speaking of not calling them liars, that's an important distinction to make too. See, guys tend to think if someone says they're going to do something and then doesn't follow through, they're a liar. Black and white, cut and dry. But that rigidity doesn't apply as much to the feminine mind. For you, if you tell your boys, "Yeah, I'll be there for the game on Saturday," and then you flake, they'll probably rib you for not keeping your word. For a woman, those kinds of statements are just momentary expressions of what vibe she's on in that second. Her words are reflexive verbalizations of her passing feels, not calculated commitments. So if she makes plans with you one night when she's feeling frisky, only to flake when her mood has shifted by the next afternoon, it doesn't make her a liar. She was just operating in her feminine frame of constantly shape-shifting emotions and personal truths. The only way to stay sane is to not put too much stock in what she says until she's proven with consistent actions that she's steady on that course. Her words are like holding up a mirror to her internal storm of feelings in each moment. If you expect her reflections in the mirror to stay polished and unchanging, you're in for a rude awakening. The only thing you can trust is her overall energy towards you over an extended period of time. Everything else is just vibrations she's voicing out into the world. 3. Is she into you or just caught up in her feels? Say you've been kicking it with this new girl for a few weeks. The vibes are good, you're feeling each other's energy, but you're also picking up mixed signals from her words, and it's driving you crazy trying to figure out if she actually wants something serious or not. Maybe one night she's saying stuff like, "You're such an amazing guy, I love how you make me feel." You're thinking, yeah, she's into me. But then the next time you make plans, she goes cold and hits you with, "I'm actually just looking to keep things casual for now." What is going on? Here's the thing, you can't take everything that comes out of her mouth as total truth or pure lie. A lot of times, her words are simply an expression of her shifting emotions in that particular moment, disconnected from how she might actually feel about you long term. Your job is to read between the lines and look for patterns. Does she consistently make future plans and keep them? That's a good sign her interest is real. But if her stance and statements are all over the map, she's likely just caught up in her feminine ebb and flow of feels, not actually trying to lock you down. Pay closer attention to her energy, enthusiasm, and body language cues than her literal word choices. Those subtle factors will give you a better read on her authentic level of interest. 4. When to take her words as serious interest. Now, that's not to say you should always assume the worst and think she's just spinning poetic lies whenever she seems keen on you. There are certainly times when her words hold more gravity, and you can take them as a sign of genuine romantic interest. The key is looking for vulnerability, openness, and connection behind her affectionate statements. For example, if you two have just spent an amazing night together, maybe cuddling while having one of those deep convos that make you feel spiritually bonded, and in that moment, she whispers something like, "You make me want to take this to the next level," that's her authentic self shining through. Best believe she means that. On the other hand, if she randomly texts you, "I can see myself with a guy like you," after you two have just been chatting as friends for weeks, that's likely more of a fleeting blip reflecting her feels in that split second, not necessarily foreshadowing of real lasting feelings developing. Basically, when her warm, admiring words directly coincide with a palpable atmosphere of intimacy, vulnerability, and human connection between you two, that's when you can take her interest as the real deal and get your hopes up. Any other time, assume she's just romanticizing out loud based on her whims, not making any serious decisions about pursuing you in that moment. Stay centered on her grounded presence with you versus her erratic verbal expressions. That's how you'll weed out the time wasters from the girl who honestly wants you. 5. Don't fault her, learn to vibe with her. So now that I've laid out how a woman's words often don't align with her true feelings or intentions, you might be thinking this is ridiculous. Why do they have to be so confusing and complicated? Here's the thing though, you can't fault a woman for operating this way. It's literally just how most of them are wired from a biological, emotional, and psychological standpoint. Their words are reflections of their fluidly changing inner states, not calculated statements of fact like guys. The feminine essence is all about emotional flow, moving organically between different attitudes and perspectives based on subtle environmental and relational cues. Rigid consistency just isn't their natural vibe. So instead of getting frustrated or feeling misled, the wiser move is to learn to amp into and vibe with their changeable frequencies. Don't take anyone's statement too seriously. Read between the lines for the overall patterns and energy she's giving off towards you over a sustained period. If her words and actions are all over the map, she's probably just a time waster who isn't actually that invested, no matter what she says in the moment. But if you sense an underlying consistent warmth, openness, and vulnerability towards you, then she's showing real ones through the noise. At the end of the day, you want the whole woman, including her refreshing energy and emotional presence. If her overall vibe matches yours, don't stress over mixed messages. It's all part of the natural balance between masculine and feminine energies. If you found this video interesting and want to learn more about reading attraction signals, be sure to check out our other videos on the topic. And tune in for our next video, where we'll cover even more subtle cues that can reveal attraction. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to After School Psychology, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.